Hi everyone, my name is Priest. Welcome to another Deadside video. And in this video I want to discuss the big changes which are coming to Deadside this year. Now I'm a bit late to the party with this. This dropped yesterday. A couple of people have already made videos and they've probably got much better ideas than I have, but in my experience so far of the game I wanted to go through what these changes are and my views on what difference they will make. And so I want to talk to you about those today. So this was a work in progress update that was posted yesterday by the Deadside devs on Steam, and after an introduction, here are the things that they are talking about. So first of all, the big one is base building and raiding, and so we've got triangular foundations, floors, and half walls like rust. I wouldn't look too much into this screenshot because there was lots of discussion about the triangles looking like they're different diameters and all sorts of things. I don't think that's something which is necessarily true to scale. It's just the screenshot. But this will make a huge difference and I think draw some players. There is some concern, is the game copying off Rust? In my view, this is just something that works and will massively upgrade the base building system. And so I don't think that that's a problem whatsoever. They are also talking about adding a assault ladder or raiding, which will make raiding easier. But they've talked about making the base is more secure, and so this is a balance thing. I think getting this right will be the main thing. Being able to put down barbed wire or something like that should combat this, but we'll have to see how that goes. They are looking at adding secondary materials such as nails and rebar for upgrades again. At the moment the building system is super easy, and so I don't think this is a problem, but this is something that they have said that they're going to do more work on in internal and public tests. Now, respawns, one of the big things that everyone has been talking about is an issue with sleeping bags and the number of sleeping bags, essentially being able to fight people and then for them to immediately come back and kill you again. And so what they've done as a compromise is in community servers having an admin setting, which means that you can disable sleeping bag placement in points of interest. I can't see why this isn't just the case in official servers as well, but this is an improvement, especially because for me, I play on community servers anyway. Now, they said they're playing around. That doesn't mean that they'll necessarily do it, but playing around with the idea of reducing HP of players respawning on a sleeping bag outside of your base. This makes sense to me because it means that if you kill somebody, they won't come back right next to you with 100% health. Now, maybe it could be something like the further they are away from where they died, the more health they spawn back with. But actually having a simple setting, which means you've got 100% health if you're back in your base. If you respawn somewhere else, it gives another benefit to sleeping bags or beds in your base, but then says that if you're not in that, you've actually got a little bit less health, which makes sense, particularly if you're being raided and people are sort of popping up outside of your base and they put loads of sleeping bags down. That makes sense. They've also talked about, as part of this, making it so that there are potentially fewer sleeping bags rather than having 15 as at present, which are very easy to make, that maybe you could have 5 or 10. But again, this would be a community setting that could be changed. It says here, lastly, we are working on creating a system for sleeping player bodies. This means your player character remains in the server after you've logged out. This will make combat logging nearly impossible and should fix a few of the minor gameplay issues currently present within the game. This is a big change, and I'm not totally sure about this one. I'd be interested to know what other things this is fixing that they haven't mentioned, because on games like DayZ or The Isle, you have a sort of a period where you need to wait 30 seconds to log out, which makes combat logging hard, but not impossible. This will completely change a lot of things in the game. It could be good, it could be bad. I'm not saying that it's for the worst. Again, something inspired by Rust. It is different, and it's something that I'm not as familiar with in games. But again, it's a tried and true method. We'll have to see how well it works. They are saying that this is something that they're working on. This is not going to be an immediate change, but it is interesting. And then other changes and features. Changes to weapon progression and AI. Various types of AI across the map have had their weapon selection changed. And so essentially, they're wanting there to be a bit better progression. If you are killing a bot, a military bot, that you've just come across on a patrol, they're not going to be dropping an AK mod. And so I think the idea is that in order to get the top tier weapons, that you have to either buy them or you have to be doing epic missions, helicopter crashes, things like that. So the twofold thing from this is one, that, and then two, they're talking about making players who are respawning slightly weaker because they can't just go to the first bot they see and get the best weapon in the game. That makes sense to me. and we'll have to see how that progresses. There's more changes that are needed in terms of progression, I think, and particularly places on the map being a bit more incentivized for you to go there. The biggest thing in here, though, that they've hidden at the end, and I think they have been very clear that this is the beginning of a conversation rather than being ready, is a mod kit for community-run modded servers. This is obviously the biggest thing that could happen and is likely to bring about the most change and the most growth of the game. Being able to have a mod kit would mean that the opportunities are endless. Similar to DayZ, similar to Rust. They have said, though, that this means essentially rebuilding the game. And so, I don't know a lot about games development, but what I do know is that when people say, just release it, that isn't going to happen. So this makes sense. It will take time. They obviously need to get other updates out in the meantime, but it is definitely a step in the right direction. I'm interested to hear what you guys think, how you find these updates. Have they done enough? Is there not enough? The timing of this seems to be that there will be a small patch coming with some more admin tools, and then there will be a bigger patch with some of this stuff that will be publicly tested. And to me, it seems like a step in the right direction. We want to see the game grow, and anything that they're doing in order to balance it better and to especially make the base building and raiding a bit different makes sense to me. So let me know in the comments what you think. Like and subscribe if you've enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next one.